Good morning, good morning, and good morning. I'm looking at it to see did it go live yet? It hadn't gone, but it finally did. Good morning. How are you? How was your holiday? How was Labor Day? Did you labor or did you have fun? Well, I did not labor. I did not. I took off on Monday, and of course, yesterday is my regular day off from Are You Stuck? But I wasn't stuck. I decided to power down, rest a little bit. I got a couple of things coming up this weekend that I want to be on top of, and have a board meeting tomorrow. Actually, a regular meeting tomorrow, and board meeting on Tuesday of next week. So I'm trying to just get it right, trying to get it right, do all the things that I need to do. And I woke up this morning and my eye was really red, and I stayed up late last night watching uh, the U.S. Open, and I was just intrigued. And late. I don't think I went to bed until maybe 12:30, just thinking that it was just so interesting to see these two young men, you know, uh, doing their thing. And then Ben Sheldon beat, I can't even remember his name right now. I always get his names. I want to say it's Theophilus. I forgot. But anyway, pardon me if I don't know it. But really good game. Really good game. Just long, long. My brother, who's gone on to glory years ago, he got me interested in liking tennis. Uh, and so he said, "You got to watch it. It's really good. Watch them go back and forth in the volleys, and how long they can stay in a volley before someone wins the point." And it's really good. I wish I had learned that when I was younger. Maybe I would have been good at it enough to play in some local tournaments, or at least make it a part of my athletic a part of my athletic signature. But currently I do stairs. That's about all I do. And some exercises that I do upstairs also in my little exercise room. But that's it for me. How was your weekend? Good morning, Erica. How are you doing? Did your hubby cook up some good victuals? I know he did. I told him I owed him a quarter. I'm a build up. I told him that the thing about a birthday is when it came from my mother, she never got off giving anybody $1. So I told him I'm gonna give him a 25-cent more. But anyway, he always makes me laugh every time I see him. But I love you guys. Today our word is faces. We see so many faces in the course of a day, a month, a year, years. We see faces. And sometimes for me, let me put it this way, for the me of who I am, I get puzzled by some of the faces that I see. Some faces have scouring, presence. Others are always with a beautiful smile. Others have face of puzzlement. They're just, you know, some have wonder, and I just always wondered what is behind the face. What's behind it? How many of us get that energy to stay with folks or around folks long enough to find out what is really contained behind the face? Are they happy? Are they mean? Are they just hard to get along with? Are they controlling? Are they bossy? Are they anxious? Are they weary? Some people I've met over through my lifetime, they're just weary. It's like everything is an issue. There's weariness to them. um and then I always think, what kind of face do I present? Is it just the face that may not be necessary to see again, or you'd like to see the face again? My mother always used to say, always leave a face that people say, I hope I see you again, because that meant you left them not better than you found them, but you may have, because you don't know what anybody's going through during their day. So anyway, I found this poem today by Khalil Gibran, and everyone probably who's done any kind of reading and postings and poetry, they know. Good morning, Debbie. Today our word is faces. So I found this poem by Khalil Gibran, and it says, I have seen a face with 1,000 countenances, and a face that was but a single countenance, as if held in a mold. I have seen a face whose sheen I could look through to the ugliness beneath, and the face whose sheen I had to lift to see how beautiful it was. I have seen an old face, much lined with nothing, and a smooth face in which all things were graven. I know faces because I look through the fabric my own eyes weave and behold the reality of beneath. That's a great poem. That's a great poem because a lot of times we stay surface. And sometimes in order for us to know people, we have to go believe. We have to look under what we see, around, through what we see. And if people are covered with layers of, things that we don't recognize, as being fear or anger or frustration or hate or, discontentment, whatever it is, we may never know. We may never know that person. We just don't. So anyway, let's see. And I did this again. This is one I did when I first started way back in 2020, 3 years ago. Can you believe it? 3 years ago. And it says the faces we show are the faces we see. Interesting. Because we can show one face to one group of people or friend, and then we don't. Let me just tell her. I'll call her back. Sorry, I usually turn my phone off. That's twice now. I need to be reprimanded. But anyway, it says when we look at faces, we look at basically the front of what a person shows in regards to their head. That's what we see. That's the face. It says it's the front of a person's head from the forehead to the chin. It's a surface of a thing, especially one that is presented to the view that we see. So it says but it could also be the faces that we deal with, what we actually are dealing with. That could be a face as if confrontation, something that we're confronting. It's something that we may or may not accept just by the fact that we see it. So when we break the word down, and I'm going to ask you this morning, are you stuck on faces? Are you stuck on just seeing something and not really knowing anything about the person or persons whose faces you see? Sometimes we get like that. We just don't know people, I remember living in New York, and they were saying, did you know that so and so, who was, I think he was someone who was a rapist, and they said, well, he lived 2 doors down from you. What you say? You don't know, and I would see them and they'd wave, and there you go. What do you say? What do you say? And I don't even know if he was really charged, because, by that time I had enough fear in me to just say, oh, it's, I don't want to know. But, I know that certain people have to register when they go in their areas if they have that kind of background, but you don't know. He was always polite. I'd see him, hello, and never had any conversation beyond hello. But you never know. You just never know. So anyway, when we look at the word faces, we break it down with, for me, focus. How do you focus on just the face? and they're hanging with you and you not know more about what's beyond the face. So I would say for me, my F is focus features. Yeah, you're right there, because some people are very beautiful to look at. They have wonderful features. It may be their hair, it may be their skin, maybe their mouths, and maybe their eyes. Some people have great features. You have great features. But anyway, when we look at focus, for what I wrote, it says it's the center of interest of activity. So why would you hang around people that you know nothing about? If it's just how they look or it's what they just do, then you really don't know them. You really don't. So it says the center of interest of activity is the state of quality of having clear visual definition. So it just can't be the focus of what you see. It has to be what's beneath what you see. The focus. What am I seeing? What am I seeing? It says the visual definition. That could be what you see visually. But then it says when we really focus, what else needs to be seen? What else needs to be seen? What else needs attention? What else needs to grab us? That we understand more about this individual or individuals, what's the connection? I remember I've been a singer all my life, so I've always had friends that were singers or musicians. They either played or they sang. They did something. Because that's what I love to do. You may have friends that are writers because you're a writer. Oh, fringe. Oh, I like that. Fringe, whatever hangs off. Oh, that's good, Debbie. That's good. That's a visual to me, because when you think about people, what they bring with them, the fringes might be the benefits, or they might be the things that aren't really good. Have you ever had a friend that had great qualities, were attractive and had great qualities, but then they had some of the fringes that were so almost like pine cone, that every time you saw them, that it like got your attention? I've done that. I've had a few friends that were prickly on certain things, and it's hard to let people know. If you care about them, it's hard to let them know that there's a few things that are just kind of weird or wonky. But anyway, when it says we focus, it says we should be clear. We should be looking at our definition of what it is we're looking for. We need to pay attention when we're focusing. We pay attention to what's going on. We look at the basis and what's anchoring the friendship or the kindship, the loveship. What's anchoring it? What's beyond that face? Do they do things for you, or you and you them? Is there a like a give and a take, around and around, where you understand each other? That would be that you're looking beyond just the faces you see. You're focusing in on, man, they're really good. I have friends that are good cooks, or they sing, or they write, those things. It also says that we can look at the backbone of who it is that we are dealing with. We're clear, and it's also something that is distinct to us. We understand it, we see it, and it makes sense. When we move on in our word of faces, I have acumen. And acumen is the ability to make good judgments and quick decisions, about people. Sometimes I think we're too quick to make a decision about really being accurate about what we see, because we may be going on the physical exterior, and we haven't given our time to figure out what else is there. What else? If it's just physical, approach is good. How do you approach people? How do they approach us? What do they see? Appearance. I like appearance, because I think if I have my my standards for how I like to look, then I would hope that the people that I know, now I'm not going to be down on the people that don't, dress up or carry themselves a certain way, but I know this is just the way I like to carry myself. So there's that. Attitude is good. What kind of attitude they have? Now that's those things, approach, appearance, and attitude are all good for how you look at somebody beyond their face, beyond or somebody's beyond the faces that you see. That's good. Acumen also says it's typically in a particular domain. So we have to know who we're fooling with. Who is it? It says that we're looking at our acuity, our own sharpness and acuity when we're finding these relationships that we form beyond just, the initial, hey, how are you face. You know, it says sharpness being clever, the cleverness, the brightness, and it says the common sense. I hope that I have common sense when I'm dealing with people. The age. Oh, the age. That's interesting, Debbie, because I've always had friends that were, and I did some reading on this. I have to find it, where it says that the person that's well balanced has some people older than them, some people younger than them, and then some people their own age. And it says the reason that is good is it makes you healthier, to keep yourself centered on the fact that there's, I think when I did wisdom, that would be a part of it. There's older wisdom, and then there's younger emerging wisdom. They're going to clue you in on the latest, what's going on, how to stay, connected with your phone's features, or your TV, or whatever it is, the clothing, whatever. They keep you there. And the people that are older in age are the ones who let you know what their experiences have been, so you understand the wiseness of trusting somebody that says, but I've walked that way before, and I've looked at that, and I've done this, and I've touched that, and I tried this. So the age is actually, that's a very good one. Acumen also says that there's common sense and there's sense. Now, I said sense before, but common sense, that means we need to be common in terms of the faces that we hang with, or the faces that we, and sometimes I think for myself, I try not to judge the faces that I see. I remember taking a class, and there was the person that I was partnered with. Well, every time she would speak in this class, she always seemed angry and questioning of the teacher and just so many different things. But that was the person that the teacher assigned for us to do a project together. One-on-one, she was wonderful. One-on-one. So I don't know what the other thing was. Was it to be, I don't know, stern, stable? I don't know what she was planning, but she was definitely there for that. Can't judge a book by its cover. That's right. That's right. And that's what Khalil Gibran's poem says. You cannot judge it by just looking at what you see. You have to go beyond the visual and get to know the person. That my C in faces is for concentrate. How many of us really concentrate on making ourselves known to others and them to us? Making it a conscious decision to do that. Because a lot of times we start, and most people start their friendships on visual. Plain and simple, how they look. Other people, it may be through a project that they're working on together, and they get to understand how this person thinks, how they carry themselves, what it is they're looking for, the whole, so a chemistry forms within the chemistry that they may be working on just on a project. Charisma, that's good. And character. I love both of those. Character, I like it. I like to have, people that bring their own characters to situations. Who are they? If everybody was the same, that wouldn't be good, you know. So when the faces come, we all look different. And beyond the faces, we all act differently. Now, I'm quite sure there's people that mimic each other, but for the most part, people are going to be different. So I said concentrate, which is a focused attention on what mental effort went into forming these relationships beyond just the face that we see. And it says we could do it through our activities and having a particular objective in mind that may bring out understanding more about what's behind the face. It says we look at what's been centralized or made it to its ground zero, where we're right on the same level. Everybody's working from a frame of I don't know you to hey, let's have lunch or let's go have tea. Those things. Sometimes it's hard for people to get off of zero. It's hard for them to get off of I'm suspicious. I don't know nothing about that face I see or those faces. Why do they want me to be a part of that? I figure that's the only way we can ever live in the world is if we take a chance, you know. We just need to make sure that the chances that we take aren't too risky. Like, don't go alone. Clarity is good. I like that. Clarity is being clear about stuff is really good, Debbie. Get down. It says concentrate is it puts one mind in a state, in a frame that you understand what it is that you're doing. That's when you're concentrating on learning more about other people. Um, my E in faces says I must be educated about who it is and what it is that we will do together as these faces come together. It says to inform, to educate oneself in a course of action, um, to give intellectual concept to stuff. So I don't want to make up that I think I know them. I need to work out learning how to get to know some of these faces. It says I look at the moral compass, the socializing ability for myself and them, what I'm teaching, because I believe that every day we meet people, we're teaching them something, even if we don't say a word. It may be how we dress, it may be how we're posed, it may be how we think, when it's time for us to say something. So all those, we're educating them, but they're also educating us. So once again, we must pay attention to what we see. Um, I've had several people in my my private counseling that I used to do. I don't do that anymore. Where they didn't know the partners that they had because it came in on something that they enjoyed. It might have been something physical. It might have been laughter and whatever. But then there were the dark times where they found out that these people had a dark side where they became very angry and they would fight or they would do things that were considered to be below the moral compass of what the person that's in this relationship with them said. Oh my goodness, but I didn't sign up for that. That's when we know that sometimes we get in above our means in terms of who are they, what's behind the face that they show us. Because not every pretty face does pretty things. Not every handsome face does things that would be considered worthy to continue to hang around. I mean, if I see that you have a volatileness to you, I'm gone. I don't want that. I don't want it. I won't stand for that. So when we educate ourselves, it also says we prepare for what to expect. And if we don't get what we're expecting, then we're educated enough to get out. Entice. Wow. Wow, Debbie. That's really That's really good because we are enticed sometimes with people. We are. We are. We can end up years and years and years later and not know how we form some of the friendships that we have. We don't. And it says when we're educated, it says we're enlightened, but guess what? So are they if they see it. If they see the visual that you're presenting. It says when we educate, we also develop, we improve ourselves and the relationships that were formed with just a smile or the way it came in through a working relationship. Because let's face it, we all are visual. We see what we see. It says there's a period of indoctrination when we're meeting people, those faces. There's an indoctrination. And so we sometimes aren't shown everything at NDOC. That's a short term. When I work for the Navy, they say NDOC. NDOC means, that's when they're coming in. That doesn't mean they show you everything, but they're going to show you what they think you might like to see. Encourage. That's really good, because sometimes we need encouragement because we've made wrong decisions, or we need to encourage each other to know that we could go right with it. Enigma. Oh, yes. The enigma. How many of us have kind of faltered in our enigma? Some of us have. Some of us have. It also talks about uplifting. Are we uplifting to ourselves or uplifting to the faces that we see? Sometimes I just see people and I will smile at them. And one lady told me 2 days ago in the market, she said, I love it. You just smiled at me for no reason at all. I said, I don't think we have to have a reason. We're just saying that's a goodness. To me, that's goodness. I'll give that away. I'm going to give you a smile. Not asking for anything of you, just a smile. She loved it. So I'm going to keep smiling. Let's see what else I have. And then it says, when we see faces, there needs to be some sensitivity. We need to be sensitive. Maybe the face is illustrating anger, frustration, and hurt. And we take that as leaving them alone. But it may be your time to say, hello, hope you're having a wonderful day, or have a wonderful day. Meaning when you're not really asking a question, you're giving a statement of encouragement. So there it is. Exfoliate. Tell everybody what it is. Exfoliate. And I think it's when one has been exposed to something, but write that in, Debbie, when we do that. Sometimes people don't know that they have an expression of, leave me alone. They don't know it because that's what they're used to. However, you can help them out by just saying, have a wonderful day, and give a smile. You're not asking for any conversation. You're just giving them a word of what I say, a happy encouragement. Have a great day. Smile at them. It might turn out to be something that irritate or frustrating. Okay. Didn't know that. Irritating or frustrating. People can get that. We get that. How many of us can get irritated or frustrated when we're doing stuff? Excuse me. We do. So we need to be sensitive to the fact that somebody could be irritated or frustrated. We could. She said, me. I've never seen you that way. You used to be funny whenever you got irritated. You used to be funny. You used to make us laugh. When someone's sensitive, it says they're quick to detect or respond to a slight changes and signals that people may be giving. That means that if you see a face that's troubled, if you see someone crying, if you see a frown that someone has, you might gently speak to it. You don't have to ask them, is there anything wrong? Unless they've opened themselves up to that secret Okay. Sometimes people do have secrets, and that's why they may or may not, when you see them, be able to speak much, because their secret holds them hostage, holds them away from their ability to really get involved and talk with other people. Um, it says quick to detect any changes that the person has or influences that have nothing to do with you, but you want to be sensitive to the fact that something might be going on. Are you all right? That may be enough. Or I hope you're all right. Meaning, if they have anything else to say, they could add it, but you're not asking them to. It also talks about that when we're sensitive, that we're going to be reactive to. We see it, we understand it, we acknowledge it. Nothing wrong with it. We just see it. It says that we might have some sentiment towards the person. We may feel like, hey, would you like a cup of coffee? I'm getting ready to get myself one. You're not asking to talk. You're just saying, hey, which is just an act of kindness. And it says, be aware of any, of how you're approaching people who might be going through something, and the face doesn't really indicate all that's going on, but something is. Good morning. I can't join in now. I'll listen later on the replay. Okay, Ardelia, thank you so much, sweetie. I love you. It says, I admit that I tend to wear my thoughts, inner feelings on my face. And I've come to realize that most people don't know that I am the coolest, sweetest person ever because of that. So I have become more conscious of that flaw in me. That's wonderful. I think the fact that you can even say that, you've acknowledged that you've made some changes because you recognize the flaw. You recognize the fact, like I just started talking to you. I remember just always hearing you sing, and I said, I'm gonna talk to her because that thing can sing. So to me, it started with, the fact that I knew your brother, and then meeting you, and I said, well, she's sweet. So that's how all that began. So sometimes we have to just pay attention to what it is that we see and go only with that. Don't make any other moves, and we're friends now. So there you go. Sadness is good, and sick, because sometimes people are sick and they may wear the fact that their bodies are aching, or they're physically drained, or they're under medications. I have a couple of friends that are taking medication, and the medicines that they're taking are tearing their bodies down, only to later be able to build them back up. But that's the way that they have to carry on until they're able to be off the meds. Let's see. Good morning, Lisa. How are you, sweetie? Thank you. Good morning to you too. Our word today, we started with faces and looking beyond the face, as in the way Khalil Gibran talks about it, that we really need to look beyond what we see and find out, how we can connect with people beyond the physical attributes that they may have. So let's see, stupid and sick. Those are good, Debbie. Sadness, yeah, because sometimes people are sad. So, and the sickness that I already spoke of. But we need to know that if they're serious, sometimes we're serious. Sometimes we have a serious look, and the environment or the involvement that we're in, it doesn't call for all of that. But we don't know how to change it over to where we could be content and happy and smiling. We don't know. Oh, wait a minute. What would you say, Erica? Yes, you did. I really was very introverted person until I learned who you are. Oh, girl, you gonna make me have some brown blushing going on. You and Debbie and all y'all that came in. This is wonderful. Let's see. And you are a wonderful friend indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. Really, really love you. Sneaky face. Ooh, that may be the person that's really hiding, huh? The person that comes out with they really got something going on, but you don't know it. Oh, I just love you. I love you too, Claydine. Claydine is my buddy. Hey, look, my knives need to be sharp. I'm gonna meet you and come get my sharpener. Hey, Debbie. But anyway, we need to really look at the people that we see if we get that opportunity beyond the visual. What else is there? Have you talked to them? Have you, even my neighbors will tell you at Christmas time. In fact, the first time I did it to a neighbor that maybe they've been there 3 years now, but the first Christmas they came, I took a little box. I made these little boxes up and I took them to my neighbors. See, to me, neighbors are priceless if they're good neighbors because they look out for you. If you look out for them, they look out for you. So I said, this little box of kindness, they will continue to look out. So they do. And so I took my neighbor directly across from me, I took them a box of goodies that I made up. And they were like, wow, you didn't have to do that. I said, it's not what I have to do, it's what I wanted to do for you all. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, joy to the world. I was giving it all to them. Happy David, And then I went to the next family and I did 3 on that side and my neighbor right next to me because my street only has a few houses from this block. So we have a lot of land on this side. The other side, there's like 6 or 7 houses in the same distance from the house where directly across from me to the corner. That meant they put a lot of people over there. So you have to be kind as best you can to let people know that when they see your face, now they know I'm busy, but I want somebody that's going to be looking out for me. And they do. They said, oh, we got our cameras on. Don't worry. We got our cameras on, and my camera's on their house. So we look after each other. Love you like my sister from a different mother. That's right. Lily was a different mother, but she always thought you were funny. Every time she saw you, said, that girl right there. But anyway, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful day. But think of it this way. Think of it when you pass faces on the street. Don't so much just concentrate on the face, but if you get an opportunity to just say, hello, have a good day, do it. You're not trying to bring them into your circle of friends, but just be kind. You may need them. You may see them later on, and they maybe remember the fact that you were the one who said hello to them on a day that wasn't going well. I want y'all to have a wonderful day. And as they say, I want you to really focus, look at the acumen, which is the ability to make a good judgment, concentrate, educate, and be sensitive to the faces that you see. I love you guys. I really, really do. Pass this on. Hit like, love. I like love. And certainly hit the share button, okay? Hey, Miss Rosie, how are you, my sweet friend? Sweet. Listen, have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. Hello to some faces, okay? I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye. Love you very much. Thanks.